Hey Capricorn, welcome to Divine Duality Tarot. My name is TJ. Today I have a love reading for you. It is May of 2023. So what I'm going to do here for you is just a regular love reading to get a good idea of what's going on between you, Capricorn, and whoever your romantic interest is. Hopefully what we can do here is get to the bottom of the primary issue going on between you two. That way you have a little bit of forewarning. And here's I love saying this, it's just my thing. A little bit of forewarning rather than no warning at all. That's just like, it works for me. That's how I feel though. I don't like walking into situations unprepared. I'm sure you don't either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do two that'll represent your energy, Capricorn. Then I'm going to do two that is going to be whoever this other person is, the romantic interest. And then the middle is going to be the point of contention, the conflict, what's causing these feelings. Get to the bottom of what's going on here. So let's go ahead and get Capricorn's romantic interest lined up here. Now usually the messaging is pretty clear. Every once in a while something needs just a little more detail brought into it. I do have a second deck of cards over here for that purpose. Alright, Capricorn, let's get the problem. What is the problem here? Alright, so the way I do this is I go over the meanings. That way we're kind of on the same page. Then we'll get the whole story all together. Now, as I go over these meanings, you'll probably start noticing what the issue is. Just the meanings alone can kind of make those things click in your head. So, starting out is the Nine of Pentacles, which is self-value. Now, pentacles represent things in the physical world. A lot of times people will relate that to money. Money is a very important thing in the physical world, but just so you know, physical world is more than just money. It could be your possessions, such as your home, however that goes, your transportation. It can also mean your very flesh and blood and health, because we do exist in the physical world. So this is self-value. Then we have the Five of Swords, which is arguments, which is, not seeing eye to eye. And normally it has to do with whatever the truth of the situation is. So together we have self-value and arguments. Interesting, huh? Could it be you're arguing over what you bring to the table? Maybe you're not feeling that, or you feel like you're doing good, but the argument is they don't feel like you're doing enough? Is that you, Capricorn? So, this person, whoever this romantic interest is, they're leading it off with the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is self-care, but self-care not in the physical world, not knowing your own value, such as not thinking that you are physically appealing enough. This self-care is finding your own truth. Swords usually represent truth, reason, intellect. This is somebody who is wrapping their mind around their own truth, if that makes sense. Now, their own truth may or may not be the actual truth. Truth is a word that's kind of thrown around. It feels loosely. So I do apologize for that. But if you have the truth, such as you exist, Capricorn, that is a truth. You exist in the physical world. You are here, or else you wouldn't be able to, watch me talk to you. But what we perceive as truth, especially when it comes to other people, seeing as you are not them, what you may believe about them is a subjective truth. It is something that, and sometimes we have different viewpoints on how subjective truth actually exists. My best example that I can think of is if for 3 weeks your partner comes home late from work, okay? The truth that you may start to believe, especially if there's no communication there, the truth you may start to believe is they might be seeing somebody else, okay? And this is just an example. So that's the truth that you've kind of, they're out with friends or hopefully not, seeing somebody else in a romantic way. That may be the truth in your head, but it turns out that they're just getting stuck in traffic because there's only one road out of wherever they're working at, and they're getting stuck in traffic every single day. You finally confront them and ask, hey, what's going on? And they tell you, well, now that's the truth. So truth can be what you perceive, okay? Long-winded way of explaining that. But they also have the devil. The devil is control. The devil is an unhealthy relationship. It's bad patterns. It's looking at things from all the wrong angles. This can definitely be somebody who is in and of themselves controlling, or they're really controlling the situation. So what we have is somebody who's designing their own truth, and they're using it to control. This right here is when somebody starts to believe their own gaslighting. If it's done just to mess with your head, which some people do that, and it's not right, but some people do that kind of thing to mess with somebody else's head. When they start to believe their own story, that's when things get really murky. Now, let's go over what's causing this. Ace of Pentacles, new beginnings in the physical world. This could be a new job. This can be a new outlook on your physical appearance. You get a new haircut and you feel that is bolstering your perception of yourself. It's a new beginning in the physical world. It's a new, something as simple as that. Then you have the Magician. The Magician is the ability to manifest. It's somebody who has willpower. Somebody who has willpower, means of getting things done. Somebody who can get the new job. So somebody who can get the new romance. It's somebody who's really powerful in getting what they want. Now, so altogether, money is an issue in this relationship. Now, I know this is not a financial reading. I'm not going to tell you what you should and shouldn't do at your job, but do keep in mind that the average work day is 8 hours. The average day is 24 hours. So you spend you spend a third of your day at work. If you have a bad day at work, you bring it home. If you're frustrated then, you're going to be frustrated when you get off work. Leaving it at the door is impossible. People say, leave that emotion, leave the bad things at work. I've yet to meet one person in my life who can do that effectively. That is part of our life. So if somebody's having a bad time and they bring it home, do they take that out on you? Just as a basic example. Also, when we don't have money, we can't do fun things. And when we can't do fun things, or when you're behind on your bills, it makes you worry. Worry radiates as well. Worry is a really, really dangerous thing in a relationship, especially if the other person does not understand or they're worried about something else, because now we're having a conflict of what's more important to take care of first. Priorities are not in line. What we have here is the inability to get this new beginning, this inability to start something new, this new work-life balance. There is a major conflict here because the ability to get to that point is in contention. If paying off a bill is your particular problem, Capricorn, the means of doing it is not aligned. You may think, well, how about we take out a loan to pay it off? That's one method of doing it. And this person may be thinking, or you can get a better job and making you feel bad about not bringing in as much money. Which is, if you are making more, objectively, that will help toward getting whatever this is paid off, or getting a second job, or whatever. But if doing that is going to affect your health, your ability to project yourself in a better light, if you're spending half of your day working, what's that going to do to you in a mental, what's that going to do to your mental capacity? Your whole day, all the time that you have, is spent not in this relationship. If they're doing that, then they're not in this relationship. You're only getting like 2 hours. You're seeing them part-time. They might as well be a friend. Make sense? So, you, Capricorn, you have an idea of how to fix this problem. They're not seeing that eye to eye, so there's arguments. You're getting fed up with this crap because they have this, it's my way or the highway. If you don't want to do it this way, go kick rocks. And that is destroying this. That is destroying your ability to manifest and fix this problem. They are developing controlling tendencies. This is the person that's telling you your idea is wrong. Probably not even telling you why. They are so stuck in their own idea of what is right. Their idea is the only one that is going to solve the problem. And here you are, Capricorn, with ideas to make it better, but it's being ignored. And you're getting fed up with that crap. Clearly. So the arguments start forming. What am I worth? Do I even have a voice in this relationship? Did this go from a 50-50 to a 95-5? Are you even contributing in the relationship as a whole? And not because you don't want to, but because they're not letting you? Capricorn, this is a situation. This really is. You're on the back burner. You're on the back pedal. This person is being really aggressive with their solution to this problem, to the point where you're just being sidelined. But I can't leave it at that. So I'm going to ask two different questions. I'm going to get the extremes, the hot and the cold of the situation. First question is going to be, what if you decide to put aside your frustration, you decide to put aside your idea and just go with whatever. They win the whole argument, okay? It is now 100% and 0%. You are along for the ride. See what happens. Give me a good answer as to what happens if Capricorn's person gets their way in their entirety. It could lead to an outcome that is favorable. It could. I know that doesn't sound like the best, or it could lead to absolute disaster. Okay, now the other question is, what happens if the arguments continue and you continue to press how you feel into this person? Things don't change, okay? The arguments continue, your self-value continues to be in question about what you can bring to the table to solve this problem in creating a new beginning, this problem in creating a solution to this this fiscal issue that we got that is really hitting the relationship hard. Okay. So, what happens if they get their way 100%? Leading it out, the Six of Pentacles, which is generosity in the physical world. All right? So then you have the Five of Pentacles, which is instability in the physical world. And then you have the Nine of Swords, which is anxiety and worry. So what we're going to have here, if this person gets their way and you do whatever their bidding is, all right, changes in their way, they will see more money coming in. They will. If they're working 8 hours and they bump that up to 10 hours, they're going to see more money coming in. The problem will be on its way to being solved. However, it's not going to solve the problem because there's still instability in the physical world. It's not going to be the final solution. Meaning that the final solution, the problem, is still going to impact the relationship. Whatever this is that they're wanting to do is not going to yield the results that they want. It's not. It's not going to fix the problem. They're going to see more money, but it's not going to solve the issue. Whatever this idea is not going to work. In all honesty, it's going to lead to more problems, truly. Man. So, the second question was, if things continue as is, you continue to pressure, you continue to push back, the arguments continue. Leading it out is strength. This was for you. You're going to gain more confidence in your action. You're going to become more emboldened in what you do. Meaning, you may start working toward this solution on your own. And this is why. Five of Cups is grief, but also disappointment. Disappointment in an emotional sense. Cups usually have to do with your emotional energy. Disappointment. Then you have the Queen of Wands, which is creativity and ambition. If you continue to argue, you're going to have to do it on your own. You truly are. you're going to have to dig deep and understand that it's going to be a very disappointing situation because they're not going to be on the same page as you. It's just not. It's just not going to happen. But if you understand that grief, you understand that disappointment in the situation, you can gain your confidence because Capricorn, you have that power. You have that self-value. You have the ability to push the magician. You have the ability to be the magician, the person that has the ability to manifest what they need to get that problem solved. More or less, what's going to happen here is they're going to do what they want regardless. This is going to be all about you. Capricorn, whatever the situation is right now, here in May, it's going to suck. I ain't going to lie to you. It's going to suck. But you have to understand what you can bring to the table. You have to understand the power that you have in this situation. Because if anybody's going to be able to solve it, it's the one that has the creativity to figure out a better means to solve it. And that's you. That's your energy. Don't doubt yourself. Because if you do, then they're going to win. But if you steel yourself, if you find your resolve, clench those fists and really think about it, what can I do to solve this problem? And then you can let go and do what you need to do to win. Capricorn, this situation, you're on your own. But knowing that now, hopefully that helps you take that deep breath and do what you got to do. So Capricorn, I really wish I had better messaging for you, but like I said at the beginning, I would rather you have some forewarning rather than it just be a punch to the face and you have no idea, a metaphorical punch to the face, not a real one. If this person physically abuses you, take care of that. Don't let that crap slide. But don't fall for whatever they're pushing either. Be you, make it work. So Capricorn, I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to hear what I have to say, to hear me go on and on about some of these meanings, but I want you to win. With that, Capricorn, catch you next time.